The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah!
Go Cowboys!
Let's go, baby!
Are you ready for a break?
Yes.
Are you ready for a break?
Absolutely.
Ready for a break?
Yeah, and so much for that.
It's time for The Break on DallasCowboys.com.
We were on a break!
With Ambar Garcia, Bryan Broaddus, Nick Harris, and Derek Eagleton.
It is Thursday, December 19th, 2024, Season 20, Episode number 89. Welcome to the latest edition of The Break. We are live from SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star, presented by LG. LG is the world's #1 OLED TV brand for 11 years and counting. See why at LG.com/OLED Evo. Welcome to the show.
What's going on, man?
Everybody good?
It's one of my favorite football weekends of the year because you have Texas high school football state championships. Now you throw in the college football playoff first round. It's great.
Saturday.
It's a great time to be alive.
I saw somebody tweet this morning. Saturday.
It's just too much fun.
That lineup of football between college and pro.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know how I'm going to give you
Don't
this.
even watch the pro
But
games.
Saturday, are the games Friday and Saturday? I thought they were Thursday and Friday.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Oh, there's some Saturday as well.
I'm sad my guy Craig Way is not going to be able to call the
6A?
The 6A final.
Yeah, it's tough.
But he's got
Who's in the 6A final?
Who's got your 6A?
Good question. Probably Ted Emmerich or...
No, I said who's in the 6A final?
North Crowley and Austin Westlake are in 6A D1.
And North Crowley's a team that beat Duncanville, right?
correct,
Which
yeah.
that is the standard high school football in Texas these
And
days.
6A D2 is South Lake Carroll and Austin Vandergrift.
Ah, okay.
So.
I cannot imagine keeping up with high school football.
This man did it pretty well for a long time.
It's because it's a passion of mine. That's why I keep up with it. It used to be work, now it's just a passion. It's back
also
to being
why,
a passion. So.
It's also why on this show we randomly are like we'll talk about somebody. He'll be like, oh, and by the way, this guy came up in
it helps
this
us
small
on
little town in Texas.
The draft show.
Woodville, Texas.
He's all over it.
Am I a bad guy? I can tell a real quick story. I'm a bad guy. I was coming into the complex today.
No.
And
Yes.
And a young man, he had a football.
Okay.
He was throwing it around, and he was acting like he was running with it. I knocked the ball out of his hands.
Oh, gosh.
Wow.
How young?
He's probably like 13, 14 years old.
You
but he
killed his hopes and dreams of being an NFL player.
But he was acting like, so I did a Maris Leah foul. Like, he was running with the ball, and I went, boom, and I knocked it out of his hands on the ground. I go, gotcha. And he's like, oh, he's like, geez. He was,
Who hurt you? Who hurt you?
The kid was kind of like playing with the ball.
That's pretty messed up.
He was playing with the ball, and then he was acting like he was running, but then I caused a fumble coming into the building. Is that bad? Is that
It's
a bad
only
thing?
okay.
It's
only-
bad?
Yes.
It's only a good thing.
It taught
if
him.
you
It taught him. Secure the ball.
Did it?
It's only a good thing if
Did
you tell
it?
him ball security is job security. If you say that, then it's okay. He
He
understands.
smiled.
He can go
smiled.
forward with life. He can understand.
But yeah, I pulled the Maris Leah foul on him. Like, he was running, and he kind of went by me, and I just went boom, and I knocked it, and he went to the ground, and I turned, I go, gotcha. And he smiled about it. He picked it up. His buddies were starting to laugh at him and stuff. But he was doing the ball security like he was running, like he was running through the building.
It just reminds me of the program, that scene where
you got to learn. You
the
got
guy
to ball
fumbles the
security.
ball,
Yeah.
and he's like, the coach is like, young man, that was a hell of a run.
Yeah.
Imagine what it would be like if we still had the ball.
Yeah.
Like, you remember that? And then, and now I want you to hold on to this ball for the next week on campus.
Now he's walking around campus with the ball. But
They made Jaden Blue do that.
He knows.
Do what?
They
Yeah, I
made
saw
Jaden
that.
Blue do that.
And he deserved it.
Yeah, he did.
Ball security. You always
deserved
talk about the turnovers, Ambar. Can't have turnovers.
Yeah, but not to a stranger that's just trying to live out his childhood out here in the...
Train them up in the way they
You got to
should go.
learn, man. One day that kid's going to thank me.
Right.
Nick's going to.
Yep.
He learned a valuable
Nick's
lesson
going to
today.
give him a sideline reporter. He's going to go.
Gotta protect the ball.
Yeah. One time I was coming out of the Star, and this bald dude knocked the ball out of my hand, and here I am.
I never fumbled again.
Yeah, never fumbled again.
And then he goes on to be the greatest running back in the history of the NFL.
There you go.
All because
Tigers.
Brian knocked the ball out.
There you go.
Good job, Brian.
Thank you.
All right.
Hey, if you visit the Star, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You got to be ready for everything.
That's
true.
facts.
Yeah, you got to
That
be
is
ready.
facts.
We live that. We work here.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
every day we live that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Be ready. You never know when someone's going to knock the ball out of your hands
Okay, another episode of
or
The
eat
Break.
all your popcorn out of the tub. Just dig right into it. Remember that, Ambar?
Nasty.
Yeah, I remember that.
Let's get an update.
We shall not further discuss that.
Let's get an update on some injuries. There are a few that jumped out to me that I figure we should talk about. TJ Bass, Chuma Edoga, Mozzie Smith all did not practice yesterday with varying injuries. What do you know about those three and the chances that they will be out this week when the Cowboys take the field on Sunday?
Run me through the three you're talking about specifically.
TJ Bass,
Okay.
Chuma Edoga, and Mozzie Smith.
Yeah, looking at TJ Bass, that's probably the only one I have an update for. Is McCarthy said yesterday that he's going to have a chance to go. So it's I don't think it was necessarily as serious as they initially thought. They were thinking maybe a 2-week type situation, but that he has a chance to go on Sunday. As far as Edoga and Mozzie Smith, I'll have to refer to my guy to the right to see if he has.
Yeah, I don't have anything updated on that. I'll try and grab us something as we go along here. I have not heard back on those, but yeah, the one also too with it being a Wednesday, and you got a lot of these guys that aren't used to playing or hadn't been playing, and now they're kind of veteran players. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you're like maybe the guys that aren't used to playing, all of a sudden it's like, oh man, I'm not. Yeah. I was feeling great about 4 weeks ago. Now I'm not feeling so great. Mm-hmm. So maybe that, but I'll rally on the other ones and we'll have an answer before we get out of here.
A couple others that stood out to me for good reasons. Jordan Lewis, who had the elbow injury, he said after the game he thought he was going to be okay, but obviously he didn't know for sure. It looked like he was in a lot of pain there on the field. Yeah. He had limited participation there, so I would assume that's looking good. And then obviously Cooper Beebe, center for the Cowboys, with the concussion. He missed last week's game. He was a full participant yesterday. So that's a good thing. He's moving in the right direction. And certainly, I guess at that point, the TJ Bass injury becomes a little less critical because you can now slide Hoffman back out to his spot at right guard.
Wanye Thomas also back on the practice field in a
That's
limited
quick.
compassion. Limited capacity. Compassion.
Compassion.
Limited capacity.
You have no compassion for these players.
It's terrible. You have no compassion for kids in the hallways. Just
random kids.
You got to learn, man. Got to learn at a young age. Ball security is important.
Yes, it is. All right, let's talk about one transaction.
We're asking about Mozzie Smith and
Chuma Edoga.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
Yes, sir.
that. All right.
Transaction yesterday or today.
Yep.
Cowboys signed Justin Rogers to their active roster. He was a 7th-round draft pick back in 2024. He's been on the Bengals practice squad. My question for you guys is really, what did you see from him? He was in training camp with the Cowboys this last training camp. What did you see from him, and is this a move that you're excited about because of what you saw, or was it the opposite?
I don't know if it's necessarily excited, but he was a big guy. He definitely passed the eye test. He passed the all lobby test, I guess, as they walk through. But
getting off the bus
test,
yeah.
And he had some moments at camp. Don't get me wrong. I mean, that big frame, it works, and being able to fill up running lanes. But I was a little surprised that he didn't end up making the final cut. I will say that, but I was surprised that they even didn't retain him to the practice squad even.
Yeah.
So that was a surprise overall. But getting him back in the building right before the season ends, I think that's kind of funny, because there were a lot of fans that thought that they released Aaron Donald whenever he walked out of this building. So. Yeah, hey,
you lived that
back.
one too, huh?
He's back.
Yeah, I kind of, to me, I was surprised it wasn't the practice squad situation too. I was thinking, man, but I don't, like I said, I don't think I was in a situation either where I was really like blown away by the guy. I felt like, okay, but they were rotating guys in, and they were trying to find guys, and it to me it was a little bit of a strange maneuver, that because usually you find them they'll find a way to protect their draft that way, and in this case they didn't do that. So I was a little bit surprised he wasn't on the practice squad, but I don't remember it as one of those things where, gosh, I mean, this guy was the better of. The fact that they were going out and trying to get guys, I think probably tells you what they thought about him initially, and now they're thinking about, okay, well, next year we might not have. Maybe this is more about the depth, going into next year than it is about maybe playing some games right now.
I mean,
in my opinion.
It was his first camp. Did you see moments where he may have flashed that gave you hope that maybe he could develop a little bit more into the player that you need him to be, a defensive tackle?
you might have a different, or anyone at this table might have a different opinion, but I think it's really hard for defensive tackles to flash in a training camp type environment. It's tough for that position to flash in general, but especially in a training camp type environment, all you can really see is, pad level stuff and, how they're applying certain coaching points because you can hear it. You're right there, especially if you're listening to Coach Jeff Scanino on the defensive line, you can definitely hear it. But I wouldn't say he necessarily flashed at any point, or there was any point in camp where I walked off the field and was like, man, you just see Justin Rogers today.
Yeah.
And that's nothing against Justin Rogers. It's a tough position.
Yeah, just pay attention. Are you on the ground or are you not?
Exactly.
Are you standing or are you laying down on the floor?
That's a great way to look at it.
The thing about, like I said, I was just, when they kept trying to roll guys through, and I was like, okay, this is fine. Let's keep going, because I don't remember it as being something where we got down to the final 53 and I was like going, well, gosh, they got to keep Justin Rogers. There's a debate here. I never got that kind of a vibe. And so, they're, like I say, they're in a situation, maybe they're already thinking about, they had a roster spot. They're looking at it like, well, okay, we're going to probably need some defensive linemen. Let's give this kid another shot. Let's, instead of going out and maybe having to draft a guy or sign a guy as a free agent, let's go poach a guy that we kind of liked a little bit, but not enough to keep around here.
Yeah.
See, this is where it bothers me a little bit. If, like, okay, if you like the guy, just put him on the practice squad and you have him for the whole year, and then maybe you have a little bit better understanding.
Now, just as for point of clarity, when it comes to the practice squad, at that point, it's his choice to choose. If he wants to be on the other practice squad, he can choose another one. And maybe he thought maybe that's what happened. He thought there was more opportunity there than what he saw here. Yeah. Who knows? But there is that opportunity when you're not on the active roster.
But he also has been in Cincinnati for a while, and so now he's got invested into them. And okay, am I going to get a chance next year being here?
Yeah.
The fact that he went ahead and jumped with 3 games, 3 weeks to go. I need to check on the rules, too. By him being on the active roster for 3 games, I think he gets credited for a year for his pension.
That would be worth it.
So to me, that's when it becomes like, okay, wait, I've got 3 games. If he could be on the 53, even if he's inactive for 3 games, I think that he gets a year accredited to his pension. Yeah. And so you got to pick those up when you can.
And he does get paid differently being on the active roster than the practice squad. So a lot of this is a nice Christmas. This is a nice Christmas gift.
Absolutely.
For the young man.
It's the team gets a guy they're familiar with. He potentially, I believe, gets I don't understand the system like I used to. But he could get a credited year, which helps to getting the 3 years and then getting fully vested. That's important.
Yep.
And then also, too, that maybe next year he can come into training camp and be ready to go and better compete.
Yep. All right, let's take our first break. When we come back, we dive into the Tampa Bay defense. We talked about that offense yesterday. Defense is a little different story. There's some challenges there for them, and I'll talk to you guys about how they match up with the Cowboys offense. We'll be back. DallasCowboys.com radio.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
Don't put off getting your oil changed, Dallas. Take 5 Oil Change, a proud partner of the Cowboys, is faster than you think. They're so fast, you don't even have to get out of your car. You can take advantage of Take 5's stay-in-your-car 10-minute oil change at any of their locations across the Dallas area. And remember, at Take 5, you stay in your car because they're faster than you think. That means you won't even have time to show off your best touchdown celebration. Take 5, the official oil change of the Dallas Cowboys.
From the field to the festivities, Lucchese embodies the essence of luxury and tradition. Handcrafted with meticulous precision, each pair offers unmatched comfort and style. Stand tall while you're tailgating or cheering in the stands with the Dallas Cowboys collection by Lucchese. Shop the collection today at the Lucchese store at the Star in Frisco or online at lucchese.com. Lucchese, the official boot of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to the break.
LG OLED Evo is the best TV in the game, but don't take our word for it. Digital Trends said that LG OLED G4 has the best picture quality they've ever seen. See it for yourself at lg.com/OLED Evo.
Welcome back. Second segment of the break, live from SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star. The segment brought to you by blockchain.com. All right, here we go. Tampa Bay defense. They are right now ranked 27th in total defense, 30th in pass defense. They have, this was one thing I thought was really interesting. They have the third highest blitz percentage. They're blitzing 32.7% of dropbacks. But they're 21st in pressure percentage, only 22.3. So they're blitzing a lot. They ain't getting home a lot. That being said, when you see them blitz, for as much as they blitz, are they running a lot of man, and that's why they're ending up in situations where when they don't get home, they have the 30th ranked pass defense because it's hard to stick around with that man? Or what are you seeing?
No, their defense gets killed when they don't blitz. That's their problem to me.
So the other 68% of the time.
This is where I think this is, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but I feel like they do have a really they've had some really bad injuries to their secondary. Like, I know their general manager. And so they've had some really, really bad things that they've had to deal with injury-wise in the secondary. Not having Winfield play, they've dealt with. They've had to kind of shuffle some guys around. This Christian Eisen, who plays safety for him, had to play corner in a game. They've had some situations. They're a team that also plays a lot of off coverage. Remember we were talking about Carolina last week, and you watch them play, and I'm watching Zion McCollum, the corner, and the first three play, it's out route, and they just keep giving up plays. But they've had some problems in their secondary. Their front could give you problems. Cansey, Vea, David is a blitzer as a linebacker. They've got some guys that can cause some problems, but they just have not. Their secondary just has not been. I don't think it's healthy. Antoine Winfield. I mean, there's questions of whether he'll play this week. Just kind of talking to some folks down there in Tampa, and that's been a big problem over there. But they're trying to kind of mix and match with some guys. They got a rookie. This Tyke Smith is a rookie that they drafted, and they've had to play him at nickel, and he started off kind of slow, but he's gotten better. Their health and their secondary has improved. I think it's a lot like Dallas. Dallas's numbers were so bad from the initial part of the season when the season started that they're digging out, and I think Tampa's a little bit of that way too.
So you say they're better than their numbers?
I think their numbers are. I think their team is better defensively. And I noticed another thing when you watch their tape, there's not a lot of run after catch with these guys. There's to me, it's completion, it's tackle. It's completion, it's tackle. They're one of the better teams in the league, I think, when it comes to the ones I've seen, when it comes to making plays after the ball's in someone's hands.
Yeah, I think from a pass rush perspective, I spent a lot of time on their pass rush and where exactly it's coming from, how they succeed with it. It comes from the interior completely. Yeah. It's Vita Vea and Kalijah Cansey. Those are the two guys that you have to look at. Now, Yaya Diaby, he was a third-round pick.
Diaby's got the most pressures on their team.
Yeah, and he makes it happen off the edge, too. He was a Rookie of the Year candidate, Defensive Rookie of the Year candidate last year, a third-round pick out of Louisville a couple years ago. Really talented, athletic, speed rusher, but can also use use his power as well. He affects the play more than those two guys, but those two guys get home more than Diaby does. So, Kalijah Kancey, Vita Vea, these are two very talented interior defensive linemen. We've talked about Vea for years, but Kancey is starting to emerge in his own right. And I just think it's funny to point out Kalijah Kancey was a 2023 defensive tackle drafted in the second round. So,
yeah.
All right.
Well, I'll say this, though, too, about this team. Where you have to be alert on these guys is the linebacker blitz with Levante, with David. You also have – nobody blitzes more from the secondary than these guys. So all of a sudden –
corner safeties,
yeah,
both.
And what happens is you got a quarterback that averages like 4.8 yards a completion when he's getting blitzed or feeling pressure. And they're gonna blitz. We know this. They're gonna blitz because, like I say, they probably don't feel like their secondary could hold up. But honestly, the Cowboys have got one guy that you feel like can win on the outside. I know I do. I mean, you say what you want about Cooks and stuff like that, but if say Dak was playing this game, I'd feel so much better because of what you're going to see blitz wise. I feel like I don't know if Cooper Rush is necessarily going to handle what's about to happen. Their pressure in the middle, and then their ability to their linebacker blitz, their secondary blitz, and the coverage. Can he handle it? If Dak is playing in this game, you feel so much better about bring the blitz. But do you have anybody? This game could come down for Dallas. Do you have anybody on the outside other than Lamb that can win and make plays for you?
Well, you said earlier that they tend to play a lot of off coverage.
That's
that
much like
gives you
Carolina.
Opportunities.
It gives you opportunities
as long as you can recognize it.
Yeah,
right?
but you saw last week. You saw that too, and what happened?
Yeah,
Tolbert has one reception. Burks they're big receptions. It's touchdown. Sure, if you can get one reception, it's a touchdown. But they're going to have to find a way. What's really funny about this team, too, is against the run, they're a better run defense without Vita Vea on the field. Like when he's off the field, they play better run defense when he's on the field. And what teams will do, everybody runs the ball on the edge against these guys is what they do. Because you can watch it. I was like, okay, how do teams stay away from Vita Vea? I was thinking, he's just going to kill the game. But teams run the ball. Like Dallas everybody in the league runs the ball on Dallas on the edge. It's like the fourth team in the league when it comes to teams running the ball on the outside. But what does Dallas do when they run the ball? It goes inside. The majority of their runs are inside. Maybe this is a situation where all of a sudden you see a little bit more with what we saw with Turpin. Those types of, if you can get your tight ends to block, if you get, you get Steele and whoever's playing right guard, Hoffman this week, maybe you can get a little bit of what you had going, because like I say, inside, it's a monster. That dude inside is a big, large man, and you don't move him all that well. But it's funny that I was just curious. I was like, I think they got to be better with him on the field. They weren't. The statistics say that they're not better run defensive wise with him on the field as he is with off.
I think the run defense starts and ends with one guy, and it's Levante David.
Makes every tackle.
If they can figure out a way to get into the second level and disrupt him, I think they can find some running lanes. But he's just such a game wrecker.
Yeah.
You look at what Rico Dowdle has done and what he did this last game, 25 carries for 149 yards after the game. He talked about it. I think McCarthy has talked about it. This is really the game plan they think favors them right now and gives them the best chance to win, which is really relying on the run, something we all have been saying for a minute here. But that being said, is this a game where you look at it and you say, that's what you should do, or do the numbers kind of deceive you into thinking this is a pass defense you can throw against when really it's just as tough to throw against these guys as it may be to run against them?
I think there's different schools of thought that I think could work here. Because on one hand, you would like to keep the ball out of the hands of that offense, and so you would like to try to find some consistency running the football. I think if this were me, I would still come out in the first quarter trying to run the football and trying to find some ways to control the time of possession early on. And if that doesn't work, then you have some things in the passing game that can work. You would assume by that point you would need the passing game to get you back into the game, because this offense, I'm telling you, it's going to score at will. I don't have a ton of confidence in than this defense being able to stop this offense.
Is it Cincinnati-like to you in this game a little bit?
Say that one more time.
Is it like Cincinnati playing the Bengals a little bit?
Yeah, it is.
That feeling that you have.
Are they that good? I mean, because Cincinnati, we're talking about one of the
this
top,
offensive
in my
line.
opinion,
This
one of the top
offensive
three.
line's better than Cincinnati's offensive line.
But what I'm saying is, when you talk about Cincinnati, you're talking about one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the league. You're talking about an easy top 5 wide receiver in the league, and his second guy can be probably top 15. You're talking about a lot of really, really great talent. I know Mike Evans is that. Is Baker Mayfield that? I don't think I would put him up like that.
They have more talent spread around.
Yeah.
They have more guys. It's not as powerful as guys like Burrow and Chase, absolutely, but you have 2 running backs.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have said the Bengals had anybody.
It's the volume you're saying.
It's the volume.
The volume
for
of people you got to keep up.
And then like Brian said, the offensive line is much better.
Yeah,
too.
the offensive line is much better than what you saw at Cincinnati. There are holes in Cincinnati's offensive line. There's not that many holes in what Tampa does with their offensive line. The quarterback's accurate. He's not going to hold the ball. You know, Burrow's going to they're going to try and make plays down the field. This guy's not. This guy's a 71% passer. And so he's doing something right. If I could circle back about the defense real quick, we talk about running the football, and I always look at explosive runs. This team's 4th best in the league in not allowing explosive runs. You know, they're not going to. They don't allow run. They give you run. They allow yards before contact, but after contact, boom, they're making tackles. So this is like I was just curious again. 19% of all runs they face get stuffed. That's no yards. You know, no yards or 0 yards or less. You know, a carry, negative yards. 19% of your runs are that way. So it's a pretty significant number right there. And then they don't allow explosive runs. They're going to make Dallas have to travel in this game. You know, we'll see if their secondary can hold up. But the thing that concerns me the most is if they start blitzing. Because they have guys, like I say, they have guys like they run the games like Dallas does. It's the twist fronts, movement fronts, things like that. Can Dallas sort all that out in this football game? And we've seen a little bit with Cooper Rush that sometimes when it gets kind of muddy in there, he'll just go down.
Yeah.
And
that's what worries me the most about this kind of setup is he doesn't seem to have much movement to him.
Yeah.
And when you got a team that likes to blitz, they know where he's going to be. He's not moving around a lot, and that tends to create some issues. And I don't think he's always at his best when he's having to move around or when he's facing that kind of pressure. So that does worry you a little bit. All right, we're going to take our final break. When we come back, I got some bigger picture questions about this matchup, Dallas versus Tampa Bay. We'll talk about some players that you think for Dallas that you think must have a great game in order for Dallas to have a chance. We'll talk about that when we come back. This is DallasCowboys.com radio.
If you can't be at the stadium, there's no better way to watch your Cowboys than on an LG OLED Evo TV. That's because everything you see is more lifelike. Every play, every hit. I mean, you might as well be on the sidelines. That's how clear it is. It's all thanks to LG's legendary technology. Perfect black, over 8.3 million self-lit pixels. No one comes close. LG OLED Evo is the best TV in the game for a reason. See for yourself at lg.com/OLED Evo.
They say champions are remembered, but legends are never forgotten. United Ag and Turf offers a winning lineup of John Deere equipment built to tackle any challenge on and off the field. Legendary John Deere tractors, combines, residential mowers, commercial mowers, compact construction equipment, Gator utility vehicles, and a full line of golf and sports turf equipment. United Ag and Turf, the official Ag and Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com to find a location near you.
If you shout, "How about them Cowboys?" you have that undeniable passion that's the heart of Cowboys Nation. And if you like to drink Dr. Pepper, you love the unique blend of its 23 flavors. Together, your one-of-a-kind fandom paired with the one-of-a-kind taste of a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper is the game day lineup that can't be beat. Better yet, gather your Cowboys and Dr. Pepper fan friends to watch the next game and crack open a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper for everyone. The wins will be even tastier. It's a Pepper thing.
And we're going to overtime.
Erica, how much have I spent on concessions?
For questions about their money, Dallas Cowboys fans can turn to Erica, the virtual financial assistant in the Bank of America mobile banking app. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/Erica by your side. Bank of America, official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Erica responses may vary. Digital tools featured require downloading the mobile banking app and may only be available on select mobile devices. Erica is a mobile feature only available in the English language. Your chat may be recorded and monitored for quality assurance. Message and data rates and additional terms may apply. Bank of America, N.A., member FDIC.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Back to the break.
AT&T, connecting changes everything.
Are you reading that?
Why would I read that?
Just wondering.
That's the one thing I can say for certain. AT&T, connecting changes absolutely everything.
Welcome back. It is the final segment of the break, live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star. Here's what we're going to do. We got this final segment. We got to get to picks here before we end the show, because this is our last show for the week. Amber has some fun stuff for our crew. Well, not you guys, but the rest of our crew.
You guys don't care about us. We signed up for 17 weeks, didn't we, bro?
Damn right.
You did. And so you guys are more than welcome to just kind of jump on and talk tomorrow. Maybe you can do it on Twitter. I don't know.
I'd love
do
to.
a Twitter Spaces and present the break on Twitter Spaces. But so here's what we're going to do. We got this last segment. We want to get into kind of what you guys are thinking about this game and the overall matchups. Let's start first with this question. Which Dallas defender do you think has to have a great game in order for Dallas to have their best chance to win?
Amani Oruwariye. I think.
Whoever starts at left corner.
Yeah, whoever whether it be him or Israel Mukwamu, right?
Yeah.
They got to have two corners in this game that can play and be ready to go.
Yep, I totally agree. You said defender, right?
Yep, Cowboys defender.
Yep.
I mean, that's a good answer, I would say, because even when you look at the different guys that are creating pressure, there's so many options that the Cowboys have been able to utilize in the defensive line, the linebackers as well. So I think probably a cornerback would be the
Can I give you 1A?
Sure.
Maris Leofau.
That's where I was going.
And I think Maris Leofau because of how much they throw the ball to the backs.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get Mike Evans is your big time playmaker, but these backs are big-time playmakers too. And if they saw what Cincinnati did to you throwing the ball to their guy, they're going to throw the ball to Irving and White, and they're going to make Maris Leofau play in this game.
Yep, and I'll even throw this in. I think when you think about it from that standpoint, if you're facing a team where you feel like the offense is a real beast to defend and you know they're going to get their plays, what equalizes that, in my opinion, at times is turnovers. Yeah. And so if you've got playmakers who can create turnovers, where we look at Maris, and that seems to be maybe at least a part of his game, where he can create some of those turnovers. If he has that kind of great game, that could be the equalizer, because you know you're going to give up something. This is not going to be a game where you're going to shut them down completely. Mm-hmm. The turnovers will make a difference, and I think a guy like him could do that. Micah's another one. I know it's easy. That's an easy answer to say. But if Micah can get to the quarterback and create some turnovers, because we know Baker Mayfield will fumble it, if he can create some turnovers there, that also can change this game. So I would look at those two guys. I know the cornerback is extremely important, but I would also look at those guys as very important to this game.
That was my stat. Baker Mayfield leads the NFL in fumble recoveries.
Fumble recoveries? His own fumbles?
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
You create a problem to solve it.
Hey,
that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's look on the opposite side of the ball. Which Dallas offensive player do you think has to have a great game in order for Dallas to have a chance?
Man, I would say Rico Dowdle. I would say if he's able to keep his running game consistent and he's able to get over the century mark for the fourth straight game, I'd feel much better about this offense's chance to put up points.
Brock Hoffman. Dealing with Vita Vea.
Yeah.
And plus the middle stuff that's about to happen with these blitzes from David, the linebacker. These guards and centers are going to have to, the guard and the center is going to have to sort this thing out. They can't let Vita Vea just continually push them into the pocket, because we talked about that the quarterback doesn't move very well, and all of a sudden if he feels guys into his lap, then he might shut it down, and then see what happens on the outside. So, yeah, right guard center combination, that's going to need to be the best for you tomorrow or Sunday.
Sunday. I'm with Rico as well because I don't think you can. I don't see it possible you winning this game without a running game. Like we've seen Cooper Rush, what he's done through the air and when they haven't been able to run the ball. So I think that what has been able to create that balance and help Cooper Rush has been that running game. So if Rico has a good day, I can feel more confident and comfortable thinking that the Cowboys can definitely win this game.
Evergreen statement, by the way. Evergreen.
True.
Do you have a number in mind when you start to think about Cooper Rush and number of attempts that you don't want him to go over?
Don't want him to go over.
Feels like when he hits 30, they're kind of pushing a little bit.
I'd say so too. The number 30, when I see 30, I think of loss.
Right there.
Yeah, kind of. That's where I'm at. I see 50. I see for sure loss.
Yeah, that means you got blown out. Probably.
Yeah.
We've seen that this year.
Yeah, that means you probably got blown out. Yeah.
50 for sure loss.
That sounds like a nightmare for sure.
Yeah. And more than anything else, it means if you're throwing the ball that much on this team, it means that the other team scored a lot and they scored quickly, which means you got the ball back and now you're just trying to get back in the game, so you're just throwing. Like that's probably a recipe you got beat bad.
Yeah.
All right. So let's look at the flip side of that. Who on the Tampa Bay defense cannot have a great game if Dallas is going to have their best chance to win?
Ooh, I like that one.
David, the linebacker for me.
Yeah,
because the run fits, and then also him potentially blitzing.
I thought about Kancey just because he can cause disruption, and if Cooper Rush is out of sorts, it's going to throw this whole offense out of sorts, and he can also affect the run game quite a bit. But I think David is just as impactful, if not more. So, yeah,
I would say Vita Vea because I just have trauma.
Because you have PTSD.
Yeah, I have trauma from that guy. So he has, anytime I know we're about to face the opponent that has him on the roster, I'm like, oh, Lord, because of what I've seen in the past. So I would say him.
All right. And then on the opposite side, who cannot have a great day on Tampa Bay's offense and Dallas have a great chance to win?
I would go with I would go with Bucky Irving, because if I say Mike Evans, then that just allows the opportunity for another receiver. And granted, there's still another opportunity for another running back in Rachaad White. But I think if they can keep Bucky Irving limited both in the run game and in the receiving game and just trying to make them one-dimensional as far as just going pass, I think that they'd have a better shot here.
Take your pick of the offensive tackle.
Yeah, I didn't even think about O-line.
Take the pick of the offensive tackle, whether it's left or right. They're going to trade. Both these tackles block well. Micah Parsons has got to find the one guy they can win on. If not, try and move him inside, move him around. Maybe the guard situation might be better off, but pick either tackle. You don't need either one of these guys to have a great day.
Real quick, I saw a stat this morning on Twitter that said Wirfs, he and Penei Sewell are the only two tackles in NFL history that have never given up a sack with the number of reps that they've had of dropbacks.
Yeah.
Never?
Wait, what does that mean?
Like, they've never given up a sack. Wirfs has never given up a sack. That's what the graphic said. And I was that doesn't sound right.
I think he's got 2.5 this year.
I was like, that doesn't sound right, but I saw a graphic. I can't remember who it was from. It's from a media outlet, not from a person.
Dave Hellman? That would be an absolute lie. If that was
you killing my dude, Dave. He's not here to defend himself.
Dave, if Dave's coming for that, then he needs to do something.
I'll have to look that up, but it kind of startled me. I was like, really?
Maybe it's for the season?
Maybe that's what it is. Has he not given up? But Brian said he's seen him give up. Now we know PFF.
Yeah, according to this PFF situation.
Yeah, y'all got a thing going on here between PFF and Next Gen.
I'm just saying that, man.
You've seen a couple.
I'm really kind of this Next Gen stuff. I stake my reputation on it way too much, but my gosh, they haven't let me down yet.
Yeah,
So. Yeah, let me look it up here real quick.
Yeah,
I mean, Penei Sewell's also not allowed a sack per PFF, so maybe that's where it came from.
Maybe that's what it is for this season. Yeah, but even at that, to go that many games this season and not give up a sack is pretty remarkable. I mean, that is a remarkable stat.
Yeah.
All right.
I'd like to see how they grade sacks over there.
You're seeing something a little different?
Yeah, I mean, I'm all about that.
Brian's like, he's got 20.
Yeah.
Well, it's a complicated answer because everyone that comes to mind, you can come up with another option.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to
1.5.
go with the head of the offense, the quarterback. And even then, Baker Mayfield, I mean, even when he has bad games, he can still manage to win those games. So even with making mistakes or turning over the ball, he can still manage. So, but I'm gonna go with him. I think that if the Cowboys do create those turnovers, again, it'll just facilitate their own offense to be able to score points. And that's the biggest question for me. Will the Cowboys be able to score enough points to win that game? And that's the key of the game. Obviously, that's how you win games. I know it sounds dumb, but this offense needs to be able to score, and it's going to come down to how well the defense is able to defend this game and keep Baker under pressure constantly and create turnovers.
Do you guys kind of feel like the defense is going to play well and the offense is going to let them down?
That's what we've seen for a good part of this.
That's my concern.
When there have been issues, that's what we've seen mostly this year. The defense has played pretty well, or really
for a half, they're hanging in there,
and then the offense just can't get anything going. They can't get. And I actually agree with you, Amber. I think Baker Mayfield is kind of the central figure for me, because if he has a bad day, Mike Evans can't get off if his quarterback can't get the ball to him. And I really think this is one, because they've got so many weapons, as you guys mentioned, they got so many different guys that can hurt you.
Yeah.
If you can get Mayfield out of his game, if you can get him in situations where he's having to rush, if you get him in situations where he's on his back, you get him in situations where he's fumbling, I think that gives you your best chance to win, and it negates all these other weapons they got.
The way they avoid that is hand the ball to Bucky Irving. That's the way they avoid that. If Baker Mayfield starts playing bad,
But they saw the run defense, so we don't have to worry about that.
They've improved.
Famous last words.
Yeah, I was about to say, you just jinxed it all.
All right, it's time to get some picks from you guys. Go around the table, see what you guys think is going to happen on Sunday when Cowboys take on the Buccaneers on Sunday Night Football. Nick, let's start with you.
Yeah, I'm going to have to take Tampa Bay in this one. I'm going to go 31-21. I think this offense is just going to have a good day against this Cowboys defense. They've been rolling since their bye week. Mike Evans is healthy, and he's trying to get to 1,000 yards, and that's a very specific point in his career where he's trying to get it to. And I think they're going to try to feed him in this game. I think he's going to have a big game.
28-20 Tampa Bay.
Okay. See, I feel like one team has more to lose if they lose this game, and that's Tampa Bay with where they're at. But
wait,
come on now.
Really?
Come on.
Right.
Stop.
I don't know. You do have a head coach who has a lot to lose in this game.
No doubt about that, but that wasn't what I was talking about.
Okay. Obviously, you do. Everybody has something to lose.
A moment I missed it.
I'm just saying the Cowboys, they're not out yet.
He's still 1%er over there.
They're not out.
I'm talking about the playoffs.
They're not out.
Okay. Amber's just calling Derek out for being a 1%er. Okay. And Derek is like, I'm still a 1%er.
He's a 1%er.
But
isn't that a gang reference? A 1%er? I'm pretty sure that's a biker gang.
I think at Texas A&M they have a deal where if you're a 10%er, like you sit down during the game, there'll be a 10%er.
No, but I think I remember that from Sons of Anarchy. I think 1%er is an outlaw.
You wouldn't turn on the volume. You maybe just watch the video. You wouldn't share the volume.
But you knew everything that happened.
I knew exactly how it ended.
Yeah.
Well, my point being, agree. There are coaches that are fighting for their jobs and all of that. Absolutely agree. But whatever. You guys can believe what you want.
How about a score, Ambar?
Anyways, the point is, somehow I think that the Cowboys can actually win this game despite everything. Yeah. Are you surprised by my answer?
I am very surprised because you usually like Miss Realist.
No, but my point is, based on what I saw the defense play against Cincinnati at the Cowboys, I was going to say Cowboys Stadium, AT&T Stadium, you know that the defense can do enough to help you out. All you have to worry about is figuring out how to score points. And if the running game gets going and they still have that balance there, I think they can go into the end zone. Maybe Rico will find his first touchdown and we'll walk out of there with a win. Yep. But I see it being a low-scoring game, 2017 Cowboys.
Yep. I think this game is going to – I kind of think I'm with you on that, Amber. I think this is going to be a lower-scoring game than people expect.
Did you guys get the memo or something this week? What's going on
honestly –
they got the script.
We did get early.
You got early access to the script.
This is your Christmas Day script.
Yeah, I miss getting that.
VIP access.
Yeah, it was always nice when you could get that when you were in the building. You could actually get the script for the game.
I knew what I was talking about last year a lot more.
No, but I really do think this is a game that's much closer than people think. I look at how they played Cincinnati, and I just have a hard time. I hear what you guys are saying. I have a hard time thinking this offense presents way more of a problem than that offense presented. And Dallas played pretty good defense against them, all things considered. I think this is a game that's close. 21-20, Cowboys win at AT&T Stadium.
Be fun.
All right. I'm not going to say Merry Christmas yet because we'll have some shows before Christmas. Yeah. So we will see you guys on Monday. We'll tell you what went right and wrong for the Cowboys. Till then, for Nick Harris, Bryan Broaddus, and Ambar Garcia, I'm Derek Eagleton. This has been The Break live on DallasCowboys.com radio.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!